this life was all I ever wanted.
I'm not leaving. Not yet.
I was hoping you'd say that.
We gotta hit the streets, make some money.
People like us must destroy people like him. Buckle up.
Get Showtime free at Showtime.com.
Fight Island appears to be a thing. Now, we don't know in what body of water it is in. We don't know exactly when it's going to be open, although UFC President Dana White said the infrastructure should be done in about a month or so, give or take, and that we'll have to see how things go from there, Brian. Again, I'm hoping that they wait for some kind of official state sanctioning to get going somewhere, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In terms of Fight Island, Brian, what are you most excited about? What do you want to see? What really gets your imagination going about this whole concept?
Look, I don't think it's real, Luke. I'm not trying to be a truther, a Fight Island truther. Do I believe Dana White looked into it? Do I believe maybe even he purchased it? I don't know, maybe. I don't believe we'll actually ever get there because I think it's even more bizarre than what went on last week with the tribal ground potential of the Tai Chi Palace in California and where 249 was supposed to happen this weekend. Yeah, I could sit here and say I want sharks with frickin' laser beams and go all weird and give you let's make Fight Island as cool an action movie as possible. I think that's the wrong step for UFC. I don't actually think we will get there. Maybe it's a little posturing from Dana just to show everybody, just to maybe even to show his bosses, his quasi bosses at Disney and ESPN that, okay, at the end of the day, your voice is the loudest one. But again, just to let you know, I can and will pull this off. And unless you help me figure this out, I'm going to go to this crazy island and have savage fights on there. I really think, again, Fight Island should be the UFC Apex Center in Vegas with the PI next door. Put a bunch of bunk rooms in there. You already have world-class chefs in training and instruction and recovery. Make that your home. Even if that means UFC, which Dana had teased on, creating their own medical infrastructure that doesn't take away beds in a hospital from COVID patients for fight-related injuries. I do think there are a way we can make this happen. I'm going to say it right now. The shovels will never hit the ground. We will not see a fight somewhere on international waters because, look, that's a regressive step backwards for I just mentioned that it's only going to be so mainstream, but I think that's a giant step backwards for the sport.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not think you would say that. I think it could be, depending on how it's used, I think it could be just fine, depending on how it's used, which is to say the following. Like, if they come back in a month and we're still kind of in this holding pattern where 1,500 to 2,000 Americans are dying each day, maybe not in New York, maybe it's now moved to Florida, maybe it's moved to Atlanta, maybe it's moved to D.C., God, who knows. The head of biotech at Morgan Stanley made a point about this. It's going to have a long tail, right? It's going to be this sort of undulating path of peaks and valleys in terms of places it hits in the United States. If that's the case and the commissions still have not put together protocol, yeah, that could be bad. On the other hand, if they wait just a little bit and they go with the blessing of some kind of commission of putatively believed to be, on the right side of the sport, I think it could be just fine and outright interesting. The NBA's attempt at getting horse going is DOA because they're just trying to do a cheaper version of the real thing. If Dana avoids that, I fail to understand what the problem is. Now, I'm not as enamored with the idea of fighting on an island like Enter the Dragon style as most people. I watched Bodog fight with Calvin Ayre. I saw Karina Dam do the whole capoeira dance when she was fighting off there. I saw Jorge Masvidal fight Yves Edwards out there. I've seen lots of crazy things already happen, but if it can happen in a way where fans want something fresh, they want something new. Like, what's one complaint about fans that they have about UFC's product? Not the fights themselves per se, but like, it doesn't matter if they're in Toledo, Ohio, or Las Vegas. All the arenas kind of look the same on the inside. Well, here's a chance to have it look a little bit different, to maybe have some fights in the daylight, to have reality programming put around it, to just have a new, you can't reinvent the wheel, but you can get the wheel spinning maybe in a different direction. The metaphor is broken and shitty, but you know what I'm trying to say, Brian. It's a chance at doing something a little bit different, a little bit new, even if it's kind of the same old thing. I just think if you wait for just the right moment, this is not going to be some creative boom, but it'll be a great reward to the fans when the timing is right.
All right, so let's give 30 seconds to the aesthetics of making it as cool and unique as possible. Is it outdoors? Is it on the beach with a view of the water behind it?
I hope.
Okay. I'd like men with machine guns standing at each corner where the cameras are.
Dude, did you ever watch that stuff that they had? I think it aired on Fight Pass for a time. It was called Karate Combat, and it was like sort of this full contact style of karate. These dudes were totally inspired by like 1980s aesthetics. So they would have fights out with like sports cars, like high-end sports cars on the outside, or at the top of really tall buildings, or all the things you would see in video games, or wherever the final boss was in some martial arts movie. And it made for a great and fun atmosphere. Having a little fun in the sport, if that's what Fight Island ends up being, what's so bad about that?
Remember you used to wake up in the 90s and watch ESPN in the morning and there'd be like Kiana's, you'd watch it preferably without pants. There'd be a Kiana's workout show from like an aircraft carrier or from like a beach in Hawaii. Maybe we should experiment with something like that. Get that guy Gilad back. Remember that dude? He had ripped abs.
I don't remember Gilad. I do remember Kiana. I don't remember Gilad though. Wow, I cannot believe you were so down. I thought Fight Island would have been your magnum opus, your chance to paint the world's greatest Brian Campbell imagination painting. You are so down on this. You want the dark, underground, damp, musty old basement of familiarity again, huh?
Yeah, I'm hitting another. I mean, look, we go through waves. There's a hamster wheel this COVID season, but I'm back in. Just get me back to normal, please. I don't know, Luke. I'm struggling here. All right.
All right. By the way, if let's assume you think it is real, right? Or maybe you don't. Let's assume that it's real. Where is it?
I'm really tied up on that Eddie Murphy conspiracy because he's an Endeavor client and he reportedly owns a island in the Bahamas. But I have no idea. I mean, you'd want it in a. Okay, Jay. Sorry, Luke's got another job. I got it. You'd want it in a spot where the largest hub of international fighters could fly there safely. I don't know, Luke. What
do you want to bet that Fight Island is just Hawaii?
Well, yeah, maybe it's the Aloha Bowl. Maybe it's forget the 10th island. Maybe it's the actual first island, right?
It's like we're building this infrastructure. We're going to call it Blaisdell Arena for no particular reason. What do you want to bet? It's like some fucking remote part of Hawaii.
This life was all I ever wanted.
I'm not leaving. Not yet.
I was hoping you'd say that.
We gotta hit the streets, make some money.
People like us must destroy people like him. Buckle up.
Get Showtime free at Showtime.com.